Page 38, Midnight Ride. In this lesson, they're introducing you to a new note for the treble clef for us, the F. The F is the bottom space in the treble clef, and is the F right above middle C. So you have middle C here, and then the F is here. Hopefully you know that note on a piano is an F. It's at the lower of a group of 3. And the one in the music, the lower space and treble clef, is this F. Okay, so now we got these 8 notes, I guess, going, or something like that. Gradually learning more notes. So make sure you know the names of these notes. You can do the play it and say it drill. That's what I recommend we do. Let's take Midnight Ride, for instance. Just play the note and say the name of it. Don't worry about the rhythm or nothing. Just so you have C, B, A, and again C, B, A, and then at the end of the line that's an E, and then top of page 39 that's the F. That's the new note. F, E, D, E, F, E, D, E. Just play it and say it until these notes are automatic to you. In the middle of page 38, they're introducing you to legato. Well, that's part of articulation, or how you're expressing the notes. So I'll talk more about it when we get to the articulation part of learning the piece. Just keep in mind, in piano, we can't really do a true legato, but we can connect the notes, and that's close enough. So let's go through that routine that I go through for learning a piece of music and see what we get. I like to look it over and get an idea of how long it is. There are reasons for this, and I'll get into them more when we get into the longer pieces. These short pieces doesn't matter so much, but I use the same routine regardless. I just get in a habit. We're establishing habits here. And I see it's approximately equal to 1 page long. The treble and bass clefs, I always check the clef signs because they don't have to be like that, but they will be for a while. And 3/4 time signature now. I look it over, I see a lot of quarter notes and dotted half notes, so I don't think the rhythm will be a problem. We're only playing one hand at a time, so I'm going to take both hands at the same time here. The left hand, you start with thumb on middle C here. That puts the hand in this position. And then the right hand, when it comes in, it's second finger on the E. That puts the right hand in this position. So we're here. You don't need any other finger numbers. Read the notes, not the finger numbers, please. So a quarter note gets a count. You take it at whatever speed, it's up to you. Just make sure those are 3 counts long, because they're the same as 3/4 notes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. You get the idea. You go through and play it. Then go back through any trouble spots you're having and get rid of the smooth them out. Get rid of the hesitations. You should be able to play it from the beginning to the end with a steady beat, no hesitations. Also, you want to be able to play this without looking at the keyboard. You want to feel these keys. That takes a while, but that's kind of important. It's very important, actually. So, yeah, keep your eyes on the music as you're playing, I guess is what I'm saying. And once I have all that, then I add the articulation. The articulation, or the expression. The accents are articulation. You see accents at the beginning of each measure. Remember, a measure is the space between the vertical lines, the measure lines or bar lines. A measure is also called a bar. Remember all that? We need to remember that. So play the first note louder. So. Now at the top of page 39, the accent is not on every measure. Careful, it's only on like it's here. Now no more measure, now no accents, and then on measure 9, you get accents. So watch out where the accents are. They're not every measure throughout, just on some measures. And the legato, let's talk legato. We already know that curved line can be used for ties. You know that. And I said it's used for other things. Well, here we go. Legato, we call it a slur. It means connect all the notes within the slur. Look on the first line there of this piece, you see the curved line goes all the way across the whole line. That means we're going to connect all those notes together. All those notes together. Top of page 39, it's every 2 measures. This is where we have problems. This is where the confusion comes in. This curved line, I trust you're sitting down for this. This is going to take a bit. Get ready. This curved line is also used to indicate phrases sometimes. A phrase, and they'll introduce phrases eventually, but it looks like they're doing them now, so I'm going to have to talk about them. A phrase is a musical sentence or a musical thought. You see, we talk in sentences. We have thoughts, so we talk in sentences. Okay, and between each sentences, there's usually a pause, or maybe you take a breath or something. Well, in music, we have a little bit of silence between the phrases. We don't mess up the beat, but we still, it's like taking a breath. The challenge is trying to figure out, is the curved line indicating a slur or a phrase or both? So what's the difference? Oh, I'm glad you asked, I'll tell you. With a slur, you connect all the notes within the slur line, all of them. With a phrase, you may or may not connect the notes within the phrase, because you can have short notes within a phrase, but you lift up before and after the phrase. A slur, you don't necessarily lift up before and after a slur. It has nothing to do with what comes before or after. A slur only tells you to connect the notes within the slur. That's it. At the top of page 39, they have this curved line every 2 measures. That tells me it's a phrase, because those are musical thoughts. You can hear the sentences. I have to speed it up, the melody up, so I can hear the phrases, the musical thoughts, like at the beginning. See, these are, they're phrases, they're individual musical thoughts. So I'm going to lift up between each one. It's like taking a breath. It's just confusing the way they're doing it in this lesson, because they're using this curved line to indicate phrases when they're supposed to be indicating slurs. Because if I treat all of these like slurs, then at the top of page 39, I'd do that. Connecting everything. But with phrases, I'm lifting up. It's like taking a breath. It's like taking a breath. That's the difference. You have to kind of figure out which is it. That's part of interpreting music. We need to talk about interpreting the music. The printed music only goes so far. Like a basic layout of here. It's up to you to interpret the music and turn it into feelings. And you do more than just what's in the printed music. And we'll talk about that as we go through the book too. But articulation is part of interpretation. They're telling you a little bit of how to interpret it with these curved lines, accents. And that helps a little. That gives you a starting point, I guess, on interpreting. But you could do a little more too. So I'm going to suggest for this lesson on these curved lines, connect the notes within the curved line, treat it like a slur, but lift up between the curved lines. We're going to treat them like phrases. We're going to lift up. Now you can lift up before and after a slur. Don't get me wrong, you can. It's just typically you don't have to. So you have to be careful and make that judgment. Does it make musical sense to lift up, or should I connect it? Now, once I get the articulation out of the way, then I think about the dynamics. F at the beginning is forte, that's loud. You have to decide what loud is. The accented note then is going to be a very loud note, because the accent takes it up from where you're at. And when you do this, I'm using a lot of weight, and let the wrist collapse a little bit. Don't stiffen up, nor loud. You got to relax here. Then measure 7. Remember the numbers at the beginning of each line, the little boxes are measure numbers. So find measure 7, there's a P for piano. That's soft. No accents anywhere, just soft. And then on measure 9, it's loud again. Last line, measure 17, you're back to soft. So you're ending it soft. So you got loud and soft here. You want to get to the point where you're comfortable enough with the notes and all, rhythms and all, that you're feeling these dynamics, as well as the accents and the slurs or phrases and all that. You want to, it's all part of interpreting. Dynamics is part of interpretation. They're telling you a little bit about how to interpret it by giving you the dynamics. For instance, on page 39, the second and third line, it's all loud. You don't have to play it exactly loud. If you get into it and you feel it, you might get a little louder and softer in places. I could go here. I could put it a little, gradually get a little louder throughout if I wanted to. Gives the illusion of motion when you do that. We'll talk more about that a little later too. But the idea is if you feel it, put it in. Now speed, fast and urgent. It's a midnight ride. I guess you're in a hurry to get someplace, I'm not sure. It has to be accurate. So your fast and urgent is going to be a different speed than my fast and urgent. You could go. The last two measures, there's an RIT. Remember that is short for ritardando, another Italian word, means gradually slow down. I think of a train coming into a station and slowing down gradually, except you don't slow down to a stop. You just slow down. There. So that last note, it's going to feel like it's longer than 3 beats. That's because your beats are slower in that measure. Now, your fast and urgent might be that. My fast and urgent could be. That might be mine right now. A couple cups of coffee later, it could be something else. Get into it and feel this music. Get into it and feel the music. A lot of people, when they go through these books without a teacher or whatever, they say, okay, I got the notes and the rhythms, I'm good, let's go on. And when you do that, you're missing out on most of what music is about. The feeling, the message, the musical message. Just get into it. Once you can play it, then start experimenting with it and feeling it. And see what you do. It'll be different for different people. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. Now on these play with me sections, I don't do the dynamics, the louds and softs, I just play in the notes. I'll do the accents, but that's it. Now I can't slow down at the end because the metronome won't slow down. So I'll give us 3 counts. This is just to make sure you have the right notes at the right time. 1, ready, go. 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Off. There's a duet part for this. I'd like to play that, and you play what you just played. I need you to go up on the keyboard again. You'll get used to this. These Faber books do this a lot. Just pretend middle C on the keyboard instead of here. Just pretend it's here. Make it this C. So instead of here, you're up here. Play it all up here. I'm going to speed this up a bit, so make sure you can play this without any hesitations, or all this won't work. So I'm going to go about here. 1, 2, 3, 1. We're going to go about that fast. I'll give us 3 counts. 1, ready, go.